Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Zen Lounge. In this video, I'm going to be sharing about the upcoming lunar eclipse and the possible effects that it could happen. This is purely speculation. We're basically going to go off past data and talk about speculative ideas of what could happen, how the markets could be affected from the upcoming lunar eclipse that's happening May 5th, 2023. This is going to be a total lunar eclipse. We don't know what that is. During a total lunar eclipse, a moon appears to turn red while passing through Earth's shadow. This year will feature two spectacular total lunar eclipses. The next one is going to be happening on May 5th. There's going to be another one in October, but May 5th, it's going to be visible across Africa, Asia, and Australia. The second lunar eclipse is going to be October 28th, but let's focus on May 5th for now. First thing I want to tell you is this is going to be crucial information to know ahead of time. If you understand the game, how crypto works, um, let's just talk about this first. Solar eclipses have been eliciting anxiety in humans since forever. So what's happening above also affects what's happening below. And people get all types of, emotional responses, especially anxiety during these events. And also the market is very volatile. Let me just read you a quick little thing. So if you type in lunar eclipse effect on the market, you'll see that there's lots of evidence that days leading up to an eclipse, the market usually falls percentage points. And on top of that, you best believe while the market's falling, you're watching your finances go down, which is very stressful. The market makers are going to amplify that. Imagine a fire. They're going to dump gasoline on the fire to amplify your negative emotions, your anxieties, your fears, and they're going to probably amplify a bunch of fake news, a bunch of FUD, a bunch of things to get you to panic. So that way you could sell the bottoms of these astrological dips. You'll know that the best traders, even JP Morgan talks about, they study astrology. They're one step ahead of most retail investors because they're prepared for these type of events. They're prepared. Look at this case. Look at this case. The eclipse have always had an effect on the markets. An ET study of 9 eclipses from 2007 reveals that Sensex has fallen on lunar eclipses and risen on solar eclipses. So eclipses have always had an effect on markets. That's probably one of the reasons why Wall Street traders keep an eye on eclipse and market movements. To the US-based stock market astrologer. Take the case of lunar eclipse of March 3rd, 2007. The Sensex fell down 6% 5 days prior to the eclipse. There's also another similar situation. The market fell 3% 5 days prior to the lunar eclipse on August 16th. The fall continued for another 5 days, setting the market by another 3.5%. So there's many examples of, this is an old article that I just pulled up, but there's other examples. Eclipses have been associated with crash behavior in the markets. While that crash is happening, you're already feeling anxiety and all these negative emotions. You're getting FUD. If you have this information beforehand, you're way more prepared. And, all these events won't stop your long-term plan that you originally set out for. If that makes sense. So we just went through an eclipse on April 20th. There was a hybrid eclipse. This wasn't a lunar eclipse, and it did have an effect on the market. I went and looked up the Bitcoin chart. How do I exit out of this? And 2 days leading up, I'll just explain it to you if this doesn't work. 2 days leading up to April 20th, Bitcoin went from, 30,000 down to 28,000. So there was a lot of fear and a lot of FUD also happening, if I recall. Let me go back one page. And I also looked at data from November 22nd. November 22nd was also an eclipse. And November 22nd, Bitcoin was at basically the bottom of this cycle. It was at 15,782 on the day of the eclipse. So let's look. Keep in mind, I'm not a chart expert, but this is pretty damn obvious. Anyone could see this. So we're at 30,000 on April 14th, leading up. 4 days before 29,000. But the 18th, we're at 30,000. 2 days before, we start going down, 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 down. The 20th comes, we still go down another day. And then, finally it starts to recover. But then we have another eclipse on May 5th. And there's already a lot of volatility, a lot of fear. And you know that what they say about Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. So another symbolism right here. I take this with a grain of salt, but just to make this a fun video, we've all heard the term Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. The first few days of May could be, panic, market makers collude with media to cause extreme anxiety in the markets. Also, there's a lot of XRP fans that follow this page. It's also during the time period of XRP Vegas. A lot of people are going to be in town for Vegas for a big event while this lunar eclipse is happening. And, it could cause, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We have a lot of astrologer decoders in the Zen Lounge, and they've been bringing this up. And I wanted to bring it up to YouTube so everyone's well prepared for all possible situations. So that's my video for you guys. Long term, I'm super bullish, but hopefully getting this information out to you guys, understand that crypto is very volatile, understand, the risk in this market, and remember that you have to make your own decisions. And this is not financial advice. This is just an episode talking about astrology and what it's done in the past to humans, the markets. And let's look what happens. Let's study. Let's study what happens. Let's actually get real world evidence. Let's go through this eclipse, document it. I'm going to see how I feel during it. I'm going to look how the market reacts. I'm going to see how the market makers and the media play with this. So that way I'm smarter and more prepared to not get fudded out, to not fall for psyops going into the future, based on astrology, based on all this information. All right, guys. Peace.